Hey everyone, welcome back to Friday Night Magic with Karusamon. This week we are on Arena doing a Guilds of Ravnica competitive draft. Now normally for my draft videos I like to do the quick draft format as it allows us to play against more opponents and see a better variety of draft decks to play against. Unfortunately M19 is still the quick draft format this week, and my last couple of videos have been about M19 and I really wanted to play Guilds for this video, so we are jumping into a competitive draft instead. So this one, the only difference is these are best 2 out of 3 instead of best of 1 matches. So we actually do get to sideboard now. We don't have to make weird decisions based on, hey, I should main deck this enchantment removal because I won't get a chance to sideboard against anything that might become a problem. But anyway, so let's jump in and see what we actually have here. So right off the bat, we have this is a guild gate, which is, guild gates are pretty good. We have a league guild mage. The rare is a mission briefing. It surveils, and then we get to recast any instant or sorcery that's in our graveyard already. But there's a healer's hawk, which is really good. But my favorite card in this format, or one of my favorite cards in this format, is Watcher in the Mist. A 3/4 flyer for 5 mana is already pretty decent and limited, but when it enters the battlefield, it gets surveys too. So I think I'm just going to start here and see if we can maybe get a blue-black surveil deck, Dimir surveil deck going. So let's do that. Alright, so pack 2, we have a Darkblade Agent, which goes really well in the Dimir surveil deck. Mausoleum Secrets is interesting, but I'm not really sure. I mean, it could be pretty cool. I don't know how many creatures. If we're going to be the Surveil deck, Dimir Surveil, I don't know how many creatures we're going to end up with, so I don't know how good this would actually be. Although any kind of tutor effect, and it's an instant, can be pretty good. So that's an option for sure. I don't want to play Glowspore, Shaman. Enhanced Surveillance is pretty good if we're going to surveil all the time. We also have a Dimir Guildgate. There's this Barrier of Bones and a Never Happened. All are kind of just okay. I think the pick is actually between the Agent and the Enhanced Surveillance. Both kind of depend on us getting more surveil cards. But at least if we aren't hitting surveil cards when we're playing, the Darkblade Agent is still something else, whereas the Enhanced Surveillance, while it is really good, just does nothing if we're not hitting the right cards to activate it. Of course, we can always exile it to shuffle our graveyard back into our library and do it all again. So I'm actually kind of torn a little bit. I think I'm going to take the Darkblade Agent, though. Alright, so here we have an Inescapable Blaze. It's really good. Another Healer's Hawk. There's a Rosemane Centaur. There's actually this Veiled Shade, which is a pretty good threat. And then a Notion Rain. Just going to stay on theme and take the Notion Rain. Alright, so here we could take... Or if we examine this pack, it looks like green and white have been pretty open. But blue and black don't seem to be too bad either. So we could take this Gateway Plaza. It allows us to fix our colors if we do splash into a third. There's a Moodmark Painter. Again, I don't know how many creatures we're going to end up playing. But I do think this Piston Fist Cyclops is pretty good, even though we're not Izzet. We can play it for the double blue, and it goes well with kind of our surveil spells. There's another Never Happened. This pack is a little lacking. I think it's actually between the Cyclops and the Plaza, and I think I'm just going to take the Plaza here. Okay, so here's another Moodmark Painter. We could take a Creeping Chill. It flips and does stuff, even if we surveil it. surveil it away. You have a Dazzling Lights, which is okay, an okay surveil card. I think I'm gonna take this Vidalcan Mesmerist though. It's a 2-drop and it has a pretty relevant ability when it attacks. Because we have to be able to push through somehow, and I think these 2 cards actually do that pretty well. But when they're kind of tied, I think these cards are pretty even. So I think in that case, I'm going to take the creature. Creature versus spell, the creature usually always wins that particular race. So we have a Barrier Bones that does nothing except block for a little while and surveils 1. Here's another Mesmerist. Here's a Guild Summit. We only have 1 Guild Gate at the moment. Yeah. There's this Dimir Guild Gate, which is pretty good, and a Disdainful Stroke. So something like a Disdainful Stroke, since we're playing in the competitive format instead of the quick draft format, is a lot better because they don't have to main deck it. I can be like, oh, you're a pretty big Selesnya deck. Go wide Selesnya deck or something. So let me counter your Convoke spells. So I think I'm actually just going to take that. Alright, so this pack is pretty straightforward for us. We have all these green cards that we're not interested in. Definitely not this white card or this red card. Vicious Rumors isn't that good, but a Veiled Shade is a really good threat, so we'll take that. Alright, so here we have a really good pack for us. Here's a Thought Erasure, here's another Notion Rain, here's a Wishcoin Crab and a Radical Idea. Wishcoin Crab just blocks so many things. It's so good at clogging up the ground, but Notion Rain is obviously the better card. And Thought Erasure, I think, is third among these two. I'm not really sure which... I know this is better than Wishcoin Crab, but Wishcoin Crab just does so much work. And since we don't actually have any effects that want us to surveil except for this Darkblade agent right now, I think I'm going to take the crab. Alright, so here, another straightforward pack. I'm going to take another Veiled Shade. Okay, so here's the Enhanced Surveillance. It actually came back around, so we'll go ahead and take it this time. And a third Veiled Shade. This time I think we're going to take this Moodmark Painter and another Moodmark Painter. We'll get rid of the Restorer and the Vicious Rumors. Alright, so pack 2. Let's see what we have here. Unexplained Disappearance is a pretty good surveil card. We have this Chromatic Lantern, which isn't very exciting. There's a Spinal Centipede. And we could cut maybe some of the good stuff like this Blade Instructor or the Siege Worm. Since we're drafting against bots, there's no real need to cut. You don't have to worry about seeing those cards again. I think it's between the Centipede and the Disappearance. Since I have quite a few 3-drop creatures already, I'm going to take the Disappearance. Alright, so in this pack, we have another Unexplained Disappearance, we have a Burglar Rat, another Spinal Centipede. There's not much else going on in the pack for us other than this Dimir Informant. And I think I'm just going to keep on theme with the Surveil. Hopefully we can get some Surveil relevant cards, ones that want us to surveil to do special things. Like Disinformation Campaign. I've never actually been able to play with it. I've had it played against me quite a bit, but never actually played with it. So here we have Mephitic Vapors with Surveils and -1s everybody. I don't know. See, it kills our Mesmerist. I think everything else is pretty safe so far. So that's definitely an option. There's this Bartisan Bats that acts as evasive creature, is an evasive creature with flying. Its body is okay. 3 power flyer for 4 mana is pretty good. The 1 toughness can be detrimental sometimes. Obviously, with the Mephitic Vapors, not really a good combination to put out there. But I think I'm just going to keep going with the creatures here. We have a lot of Surveil already. Alright, so in this pack you have these 2 blue cards, which are kind of unexciting. Hired Poisoner is a really good 1-drop. It almost always trades up, or they have to spend a removal spell on it, and if they're spending a removal spell on your 1-drop, you feel pretty good about it, so we're going to take that. Alright, so this is a pretty decent pack for us here. We could take this Necrolisk, but it's not the best thing that we want to be doing is like sacking our creatures. Here's another Mesmerist. We have a Devious Cover-Up, which is a very playable counterspell in this format. Here's another Bartizan Bats. Here's I think our first piece of removal. So I'm probably going to be taking this Severed Strands, even though we do have to sack a creature to do it. And then there's a Muse Drake, which is a decently sized toughness body and it replaces itself in our hand when we play it. But again, since we're so removal light, I think I have to take the Strands. Alright, so here we can take a Bartizan Bats. There's another Disdainful Stroke. Here's a Dimir Guildgate. I think this pack is pretty weak, so let's go ahead and take the Guildgate here. Alright, so we have Whisper Agent, Selective Snare, and Severed Strands. I think we're going to take this Whisper Agent. Now here's an interesting one. We could take this Dowser of Lights, which is a really good big body. 5 toughness is hard to deal with in this format. Or we could take just hedge our bets and take this Izzet Guildgate in case we want to splash something red later. I think I'm just going to stay with what we already have and take the Dowser of Lights. But I think the Guildgate would have been fine too. And we'll just take the other Surveil card here. We'll take another Guildgate. We'll actually take this Gravitic Punch, something we could actually splash later if we wanted to. Maximize Altitude. We'll take the Bats this time. And an Invert. And a Sonic Assault. Alright, so here we have, this is a tough pick. We have Artful Takedown, which is probably the best removal spell in the format. And then we have Quasi Duplicate, which is one of the best rares in the format. I don't know which one I want more. I probably just need the Artful Takedown more, since I only have one actual removal spell at this point. But unfortunately, I would want both of these cards. I doubt either one of them makes it back around to us. But let's take the Artful Takedown. Alright, so this pack is pretty straightforward. Deadweight is decent, Dowser of Lights is decent, Disdainful Stroke is okay, but by far the best card in this pack is Nightbell Predator and Nullhide Ferox. We're not in green, so we have to ignore the Ferox, but Nightbell Predator is perfect for us to pick up, so we'll just take that. Alright, so here's one of those cards that wants us to surveil. Those are the kind of things that we were looking for. We could take another Wishcoin Crab. Here's another Guildgate. Not much else in the pack for us. We're not red and white. I think I'm going to take the Snitch, though, so our surveil pays off in some way. So we could take this Locket. And then there's this other pseudo-removal spell in Plaguecrafter. And again, since we're so removal light, I think I just have to take it. Plus, it's a really good card anyway. So let's do that. We can take a Demir Informant or another Notion Rain. I'm going to take the other Notion Rain. This pack isn't very good for us, so we'll just take out the best card in the pack. So Inspiring Unicorn is really good. Vigor Spore Worm is pretty good. Then you got Righteous Blow and Healer's Hawk, Join Shields. We'll just cut this Join Shields. Same thing here. I don't think I want to play 3 Dimir Guildgates. I don't want 3 of my 17 lands to come into play tapped. So we'll just cut another Join Shields. So here we can take... I want to take the Severed Strands over the Dowser of Light and the Dimir Locket. Again, I just want to make sure we're hedging our bets on removal here. We got to be able to kill stuff. Now I'll take a Dimir Locket, though. And we'll take a second Dowser. And we'll take another Wishcoin Crab. We'll take a Bat. And I think I want to Never Happened. We'll play this Vicious Rumor. Oh, we'll take the Vicious Rumor. And a final move. Alright, so let's start building our deck. Going to start with the creatures, and we're just going to kind of do it by curve here a little bit. So 1-drop blue, we don't have any 1-drop blue creatures. For black, we have this Higher Poisoner, which I definitely want to play. And I don't think we had any colorless ones we wanted, so we'll go back here. So 2-drop. I probably do want to play this Fidelka Mesmerist. And I definitely want to play this Whispering Snitch. And I don't think we have any other 2-drops. So we'll come back out here for 3 drops. We want to play this Dimir Informant. We definitely want to play Plague Crafter. I want to play some number of Veiled Shades, so let's start with 1 and see where we end up from there. I definitely want to play this Darkblade Agent. I definitely want to play this Whisper Agent. So that gives us 4 3-drops. So let's go ahead and play 1 more Veiled Shade. Now for 4 drops, I probably want to play both Wishcoin Crabs. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. We can cut one later if we need to. Then I also obviously want to play this Night Veil Spectre. And I don't know if I want to play the Bats or the Painter yet, so we're already at 12 creatures. So let's see where we are after our 5 drops. For 5 drops, definitely want to play Watcher in the Mist. I definitely want to play at least 1 Dowser of Lights. We're at 14 creatures. So I guess we do want to play probably this, at least 1 Bat. That puts us to 15 creatures. And let's see where we are with our spells. So if we're going to be surveilling all the time, I definitely want to play this Enhanced Surveillance. We definitely want to play both Severed Strands. Definitely want to play both Notion Rains. I definitely want to play this Artful Takedown. I guess we're playing this Unexplained Disappearance. And I guess that means we have enough space for 1 more spell or creature. So I think it's either a 3rd Veiled Shade or a Dowser of Lights. Now obviously you can't split that much mana between 2 Veiled Shades. And for just 2 extra mana, this one is just two bigger already. So let's just, without having to pump mana into it. So let's, or we could play one Mood Mark Painter, just for that kind of random, like, push to get us through, I think. Of course, we're only playing 15 creatures right now, so there might not be much in the way of the graveyard, although we are surveilling a lot, so it is possible. Alright, I think I talked myself into it. I think we're going to play a Mood Mark Painter. Alright, so I think that's a pretty good deck there. I wish I had more, like, surveil trigger stuff, like a Dimir Spybug or Disinformation Campaign. But I think just filtering through our deck is going to be good too. So let's go to lands. We'll have it suggest some lands. I can play 2 Guild Gates, so we'll take one away from each. And we'll just play both Guild Gates there. And I think that'll be it. So let's sleeve this up and see how we do. Alright, so we are on the draw, and this is a pretty excellent hand. We can turn to Surveillance, and then we have either of these Surveil options on turn 3, and then a Wishcorn Crab to gum up the works on turn 4. So let's go ahead and keep it. Alright, so we'll just lead off with an island and pass the turn. Our opponent apparently is some sort of Boros deck, or maybe they're just splashing. Nope, they are definitely a Boros deck. So, let's go ahead and get Surveillance online. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything when it comes into play. So, we are probably taking 2 here. Maybe more if they have some sort of haste creature. I'm not sure what's for haste in 2 or 3 mana. Alright, so here comes the 2. Alright, so equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each gate you control, and has Vigilance and Menace. Well, that's pretty bad. So he already has 2 gates out, so this creature is going to get pretty big pretty quick. So we need to find removal, and we need to find it fast. So I think we're going to want to Dimir Informant first. Alright, so we get to look at 4. I definitely want this Severed Strand. We're definitely going to want a Night Veil Spectre here. We have plenty of land, so I think I'm going to get rid of the Bat and the Swamp and keep those 2, the Night Veil Predator and the Severed Strands on top. And we will pass the turn. So we're going to take at least 4 here. Nope, we're going to take 5. Alright, so we don't really have much in the way of anything else. We just have to cast our Severed Strands and kill this Boros Challenger and pass the turn. Alright, so a Hammer Dropper. 5/2 Mentor, and it's going to have Menace on the next turn, so we could end up taking 8. So this Night Veil Predator, I think we still, I mean, like, it's tough to beat this, I think. It's going to be tough for us to beat this Glaive of the Guild Pack. So I'm not really sure. We could Notion Rain again. Perhaps we just Darkblade Agent and then hope to draw cards next turn. Because, I mean, this turn we're taking 8 regardless. Yeah, we can't do much about it. And a Healer's Hawk. Okay. We could Notion Rain to try to dig for something, and then Unexplained Disappearance on the dropper. We'll take 1 plus the 2 from here. Could Wishcoin Crab to try to kill the dropper. Even if we drop Nightveil Predator, we have to double block the dropper. So I think we're just going to Notion Rain. I think we're just digging for removal at this point. So everything... Actually, this could be okay. No. Need to get rid of it. And we'll play 1 more land for the turn and pass. So we have to be careful not to deck ourselves. So we should have actually Unexplained before attacks. I wasn't thinking about Mentor, I was just thinking about getting this 8 power creature off the board. Yeah, actually, those seem pretty okay. We'll take 2. True Fire Captain. So whenever he's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player. So this probably means we're done. So we'll play our Plague Crafter. And we'll play out... Actually, I should have played Wishcoin Crab, I guess, because now I'm dead. So let's just go ahead and go to game 2 then. Alright, so... I'm not really sure how we combat that shield. We could bring in something like Invert. I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring in a Gateway Plaza and take out one of the Dimir Guild gates so we can actually splash the other side of it if we wanted to. So I think that's about really all we can do. Dazzling Lights might be okay too. The shield. The shield costs 3. Let's just go with this and see what happens. Alright, we're gonna play. We have the Gateway Plaza. We'll keep. We'll just play this island. Not doing anything until turn 3 because the Gateway Plaza has to come in and we have to pay for it. There's a guild gate. So we can Whispering Snitch. I think we're just gonna play Crafter. Yep, Sky Knight Legionnaire. We're gonna take 2. We'll pass the turn here. And next turn we get to Watcher in the Mist. So just a Silent Dart. Okay. I kind of want both of those. And no attacks. So now I have to take 4 because my Watcher doesn't trade with it anymore. That's fine. Just a 2/4 Convoke. I think I actually just want both of those. And then we could just kill it now. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. And that still leaves us Invert to kill something else. Although this does 3 damage, but they have to pay 4, so let's see if they play something first. I will block your Halberdier. Sure. 2 for 1. Really just a 1.5 to 1 since they get to redo this. My turn. Let's play a Dowser of Lights. And pass the turn. I will block. Now this is a 2 for 1. So let's what happened there? Did it not switch it the right way? So it should have been 4... Oh, because he already had damage on him. That's my fault. I'm being stupid. I don't want you, and I don't want you. Alright. We'll just go ahead and return that to their hand. Alright, so we're just drawing lands. I've also played pretty poorly in this match. Yep. He has 1 guild gate, so we're going to take 5. We're at 2, and now he can finish this off. Oh, he could have finished this off. I don't know what he was doing. But we'll pass the turn and see if he sees it. Yeah, we'll just let it resolve. Alright, so that was pretty bad on my part. I played really poorly in that game. It's been a while since I've actually been in the guild's limited format. But live and learn, and let's see if we can do better in the next game. Alright, so we're on the play. Again, I think this is a very keepable hand, so we'll just go ahead and do so. We'll lead out with our hired poisoner here. So we'll go Swamp and Hired Poisoner, and then pass the turn. We'll go to combat and attack for 1. I think I'm going to, let's see, let's attack for 1. Let's go ahead and get another Informant out there. I don't mind either one of these. I'm going to put the Artful Takedown on top, though. So nothing from our opponent yet, so let's attack here. And we're going to play Wishcoin Crab this turn. Alright, so Blade Instructor. I guess we can attack through this, since we have the Artful Takedown. Sure. See? It almost always trades up. And just gonna play this Veiled Shade. And pass the turn. So I wonder if our opponent is stuck with some multiple green spells in hand. So he can either choose to play 1 a turn, or maybe they're double colored. we're just going to keep on getting in there. So I'm going to pump him once and see what happens. Then go to damage. And then I'm going to cast Notion Rain. Let's go with... I don't want the Bartisan Bats. Unexplained Disappearance plus Artful Takedown should be pretty much game over. And we'll pass the turn. So we saw a Mentor creature there. And our opponent had a bunch of plains and one forest. I wonder if green is their splash color and they never saw any red. So we don't know if our opponent is a red-white Boros like aggressive deck, or if they're a green-white go-wide Selesnya deck. But I think we can sideboard for both. I'm actually not really sure what would be the best route to go here. Since we didn't see much of it, I'm going to keep it the way it is. I think we're set up pretty okay. If it's Selesnya, if they come out a little hotter as Boros, then we'll know what better to do in Game 3 if we lose this one. Alright, so we're on the draw. We have a couple of good cards here, so we'll just go ahead and keep it. There's a Plains. We got a Healer's Hawk. No, Hunted Witness. Okay. And we'll play our island and pass the turn. We'll take one here. And pass the turn again. Not really looking to Unexplained Disappearance a... Okay, I'm not going to Unexplained Disappearance that either. No blocks. We'll go to my turn. I'm gonna play this Darkblade Agent. Pass back. So it looks like they are green. Here's another Stray. And another Hunted Witness. Interesting. So I think I'm just going to jam... Let's go to attack. Let's see if they want to block. These make lifelinkers. Okay. Have to get them off the table at some point, so... So we're doing two. I think that's fine. We'll just jam a Wishbone Crab. Keep up the walls. Luminous Bonds, sure. So Defender Reach gains Indestructible for 5 mana. Let's just keep jamming these Wishcoin Crabs. That was for 5 mana? Okay. Okay. Sure. And we'll leave up Artful Takedown and Wishcoin Crab. I want to use Artful Takedown on something a little more serious than some 1-power creatures, but you never know what's going to happen. Okay, so that's a pretty good one. Right now, we'll just block here. And we'll take 2. And my turn. More lands. No attacks, and we'll pass the turn. I don't know what's going on there, but I wanted to do both. Is that not an option? Alright, let's Notion Rain here. Let's see. Let's view the battlefield. I don't know how many creatures are in there. We got 3, or is that 3? 2. So we'll get rid of that, but take the Predator. And I'm going to play the Predator. We'll play out another swamp and pass the turn. Blade Instructor, sure. Island and pass the turn. So they're going to create a 2/2 Elf Knight. Sure. Let's go ahead and do this so we can surveil. I don't want to land. Well, Notion Rain. I don't want these lands. So let's go ahead and go to combat here. I'll attack with the Nightveil Predator. They can block with the Sundew. And we'll pass the turn. Let's go to combat. Just the Predator. No, I chose not to use it. Let's get the Snitch on the way here. And in the turn. I'm going to hold off on Playcrafter for right now. Oh, our opponent's had enough. They can't deal with the flyers in the air, I guess. Alright, so we're on the play. We can't actually cast anything in our hand because we need at least one more land. But this is a pretty decent hand if we do hit one. I don't know how much of a 6-card hand would be better than this. So it's an iffy keep, but I'm going to keep it. Obviously we'll start off with this Gilgate, so it'll come into play tapped. And we have two options. There's a land. Hazda Marshal. Whenever Hazda Marshal and at least 2 other creatures attack, create a 1/1 soldier with lifelink. So, kind of like Legion's Landing. We'll pass. So if he has 2 more 1-drops, be pretty sick. He just has a 2-drop. I don't want to play that because I want to ambush them, so we'll pass the turn. We'll cast this Whisper Agent here. Go ahead and Surveil. Enhanced Surveillance could be good, but I think I just want... We'll get rid of the Marshal. So... let's jam a Wishcoin Crab. And just play defense for now. I could jump the Skyline Scout. Yep. Or at least that ties up their mana. Fresh-faced Recruit says, as long as your turn, you have first strike. So let's get this bat into play. So now the Skyline Scout is no good. invoke a big flyer. Let's do another Wishcoin Crab here. So, convoke and flying. No attacks. Okay, so they got rid of a Wishcoin Crab. That's pretty good. Let's get rid of... We have to block some things here. I'm going to block here and here. So I think we can actually attack with this. Because we can't block the flight anyway. No blocks. And a rock charger. So we will go to game 2. So Boros again. Boros is just, it's the one deck that can come in underneath all the controlling elements of the Dimir deck. And it's probably my fault for not taking enough removal as I saw it. I'm going to side in this Gateway Plaza and this Gravitic Punch, because we do need some more removal. And take out the Guildgate and this Painter. Alright, we're going to play again. Probably this is a much better hand, so we'll keep it. Lead off with the Guildgate. And pass the turn. Yep, Skyline Scout is fine. I'm not going to bounce anything yet. I'm going to play this Informant. Looking for lands. Both of those are actually pretty good. Do really want some lands though, but I think Playcrafter is fine. Yep, Rock Charger. Let's hold off on the Playcrafter. So the question is, do we bounce before they attack, or we let them trigger the Marshal and ambush them? I mean, that's fine. That's there. We'll get this Night Veil Predator going. And a flower. So they're looking for... got themselves a forest. There's another land. So now if I play Plague Crafter... this Mesmerist and pass the turn. Dawn of Hope. That's not good. We need to start getting in there. Maybe we hold off on it. Yay, I figured out how to actually cast Artful Takedown. So we're going to attack. Play out this. Let's get them both out there. Okay, so they're one land away from being able to double this a turn. Sure. Let's go to attacks. I mean, we have to keep the pressure on them, make them, force them to actually do it. If we let them just build and get a bunch of them into play, then it's no good for us, so... And we'll save this Whisper Agent for something else. So now they can do 2 a turn. We'll cast Whisper Agent. I don't want to land. We'll go to blocks. Actually, you know what? I think we have to block this one. Now let's see if they decide to draw a card. They do, which means no extra tokens this turn. Rosemane Centaur, sure. Darkblade Agent. And I don't know if we're going to get there. I don't know how much life gain they're going to be able to pull off. But we'll see if we can do this. Dawn of Hope is just so good. Okay. We'll block one of these. So they're up to 8. Are they going to draw cards? How many cards are they going to draw? 1? I think we just have to attack with everything. Do we die on the way back? They make 1. Actually, I guess we just attack with the Veiled Shade and the Predator. Force them to make 1. I'm fine trading a Veiled Shade. Sure. Okay, so you're going to attack us for 6. So they go to 7. Nope, they want to make a soldier. We have 3 creatures here. We didn't draw anything on our turn. I think we have to pass the turn. just block with one. I guess they're worried about dying on the crestback. Some sort of convoke here. Another centaur. Okay. Just have vigilance. And I think that's going to be it. They make another one. We can only block 3. We'll just say good game and concede. Alright, so we didn't fare too well in this one. The Dimir deck, not enough removal for one. Also came across some pretty aggressive decks that just came in underneath what we could do. But that's okay. I also didn't play very well, especially in that first match. But we'll just leave them up and try again next time. If you like what you saw, just hit like and subscribe, and we'll put more videos up, and we'll see you next week.